You're in the mix.
SKM presents Strictly for the Music Podcast. You are now live with the #1 podcast for all upcoming artists worldwide.
It's the real deal.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. This is Strictly for the Music Podcast. I'm your host, SJN. The next guest I got live in the red is an artist. He's a singer, actor, and a model with 4 released songs: Fly Me to the Moon, Night and Day, Misty, Lady is a Tramp. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcoming to Mark Van-Dell.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here on your podcast. I'm really happy to be here with you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on this podcast, man. It's a blessing to have you here, and it's an honor. So let's start with the first question, man. Describe your sound and what was the creative process like creating your type of music?
Yes, I like composing a lot, but for my creating process, as you ask, I like to be, really quiet, really silent, relaxed, in a mood where I have my whiskey, I am with my piano, and I'm with my thoughts. So I like to be alone. And I start to play the piano, and a lot of ideas come into my mind. I really like the process. So I just play, I just let it go, and I flow with the music. That's the thing I do.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you this, man. So what were you doing music before you got on Spotify, or was this something that just happened out of the blue?
No, I did music ever since I was a kid. I was a little boy, and well, actually, I come from a family of musicians, so it's a really important thing in my life. Music has been within me ever since I was like 5 years old, when I started the piano lessons, and singing lessons I started when I was like 15 years old. So it has always been a really important part of me. Composing I started, I think, when I was like 15 years old. So now Spotify is a new thing. I just started. So music has been with me always.
That's amazing, man. So let me ask you this, man. Being able to release your music on Spotify, what is the feeling like? And what was the response like? How the audience recommended your music?
Well, actually, it was thanks to a friend of mine who is F. Wolf. He's a really good friend because he introduced me to the world of the Instagram and Spotify, Facebook, everything like that. I was a really private person, I was not a lot on the internet. So really it was part of his idea. We did a YouTube video. You can watch it now. It's called The Lady is a Tramp. It's like a single, but with a video. So you can look for it as Mark Van-Dell, The Lady is a Tramp. So we started with a video on YouTube. Then we thought it was a very good idea to get on Spotify some songs. I recorded first with a big band. Father was the arranger, and I was a singer. So that's how I started to be on Spotify.
All right, man, that's dope. So let's discuss your catalog on Spotify. So you have a song on there. If I'm not mistaken, it's "Fly Me to the Moon."
"Fly Me to the Moon," an old classic from Frank Sinatra. I'm a huge fan, so I wanted to make my version of it.
Oh, that's amazing! That's amazing, man. So "Night and Day," man, that's one of your next singles off Spotify. How did that song come upon?
That song came because I was listening to the composer Cole Porter. Cole Porter is one of my favorite composers. He's like one of the greatest composers from the American Songbook. So I wanted to make one of his songs, which is my favorite, which is "Night and Day." So it was a really, really difficult to choose the songs for the Spotify, because we had a lot of material. We have all the songs that Frank Sinatra used to do. But I think I'm convinced that Night and Day is a strong, even violent song, because it speaks about longing. It's about being in love, but a strong feeling. Being in love in a strong way. So I consider it to be a really successful tune for me, because I'm a really passionate person, so I prefer passionate things and passionate tunes as well.
That's amazing, man. So I'm guessing that the Lady is a Tramp is a single from where you debuted. Am I correct?
A single from what? Sorry.
Like the single "Lady is a Tramp" that was like your first single that you put on Spotify, right?
Oh yeah, because that was the video on YouTube. That's how it all began, really, with "The Lady is a Tramp." Yeah,
okay.
we shot video and then yeah.
So what inspired you to do that song?
Actually, it was kind of like a gangster thing, because I wanted to do a script with for the video that had kind of like a dangerous girl, who killed me. So if you watch the video, you can see how the girl kills me, because that lady is a tramp. So actually, in the description of the video, you can read the lady. The lady is she's a fine lady, but she's a tramp. So it was really funny to do that song, because my partner F. Wolf and I thought it would be a great script to have, like me being a gangster, but chilling out, preparing for a singing, preparing to perform a character. And then this girl that comes to the bar and to watch me and seduce me and then kill me. So it was really funny and to do the video, and that's how I got inspired with the song.
All right, man. Wow. So can we expect any other music videos coming up for any of your other songs that you have released on Spotify?
At the time, I don't have other videos, but I'm planning to make another one with the song Night and Day, actually. And I have the new project of releasing more singles. I'm about to release this song, which is "Come Fly With Me," also a classic. And we're planning to do a video of that song. It's we're planning it. It's not concrete yet.
Okay, all right. So have you ever done any concerts before?
Yes. Ever since I was 18 years old, I remember it was my first job, and it was on a museum, I remember, and it was my birthday. It's a nice story, because I was getting 18 years old, but doing what I love, which is singing. So that event in a museum meant a lot for me. Meant a lot for me because not only because it was my first job, but because it was the first time I ever had, the public watching me and performing professionally. So I was kind of nervous, but I got to learn with the years. Then I got in bars. Then I got in, more serious events, like, for example, cultural events. In places like embassies, places like churches, and I always did bars. So I'm always like having events and trying to play for a lot of people. So really, this is the first time that I get into the internet, the social networks, but I had some experience like a musician.
Wow, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. So let me ask you this, man. Performing at an embassy, what was the feeling like, man?
Oh, I was really nervous, because there was a lot of people. I remember that. I was in it's a big place, it was a really big place. The public was not expecting a musician because it was kind of like ambient music at first. But then I started to sing and people just kept watching me. I was like, why are they watching me? So I think they like it. They loved it. And when I finished my job, I remember a woman came to me and congratulated me because she loved the music. I did Mexican music, so they love it. They loved it on the embassy, and it was really amazing for me.
Wow, that's amazing, man. So, have you ever considered doing any live performances on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live,
Yeah.
any live stream performing platform? Would that be something you'd be interested in?
Yes, I'm really interested on. I think nowadays we call it streaming. I don't know if that's the term, the correct term to describe the YouTube Live and everything. But yes, I would love to do lives, to do YouTube Live, and to be on the internet more. And I think that's part of my projects, because I want to present also the next video and do a live concert. So I'm really looking for that.
That's amazing, man. So my next question is I'm gonna ask you, have you ever done any collaborations with any other artists?
And not at the time. I haven't. At least for the internet, I have not. I'm planning, and I have the future project of collaborating with some friends, some musicians. I've done music with big bands, and I guess being with the musicians of the big band is kind of like a collaboration, but nothing serious, not with other singers at the time.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you this: if you could collaborate with any artist or band, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh, I'd love to get in touch with Tony Bennett. He has more than 90 years old, but he has a long career. That would be my dream. I would love to have collaborated with Frank Sinatra, and he's dead, but that's kind of like a wish. And with Michael Bublé, I'm a huge fan of his music, of his singing. So I would love to make a kind of like a future with him. So those are kind of like my top artists.
That's amazing, man. How are you different from other artists?
I like old-fashioned music. My plan is to bring to modernity old-fashioned music, because I think it will never die. Classics never die. So my aim is bring back what Frank Sinatra did back in the day, and have it with a modern style, with a style that is quite good for the public nowadays, because people are listening to new artists, new songs. But why not remembering the oldies? No, the old tunes, the classics. So I think that's a different thing for me. Not every artist wants to look back to the past, to the history of music, and look to the origin of styles, and look for the jazz as it was with Louis Armstrong, and with Ella Fitzgerald, and with Billie Holiday, and bring it back to life. So I think that's what makes me different.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What would be the best advice you could give to the younger generation?
Do what you love. Always follow your instinct. Always, if you like to play, play. never stop. Never let others tell you that you cannot do it. That you need maybe that you need to be born with it. I don't buy it. I think if you love something, you'll be obsessed with it in a way that you will always be practicing it. Practice. That's the key. So I would say to the young audience, practice whatever you like in music, whatever instrument you like, or if you want to sing always. Practice all the day and night, and every day. The advice.
Amazing advice. So who is your music targeted
Thank you.
towards?
My music partner?
No. What? Who is your music targeted towards? Like, what audience are you trying to get the ears to?
Audience. Oh yes. I would like to be listened by the young audience, because I'm 25 years old. So I have a lot of friends who have similar interests in music. So I really, my target is because I know a lot of people my age and even younger people that loves the music that love the music that I do, and that love Frank Sinatra and the old tunes. So I think that's my target, as well as old people, because people who are 80 years old, they're always in the events that I'm having, in the music that I play. They are the ones that enjoy the most, because they remember their time when they were young and they were dancing to the music. And they always tell me, that was the music that I used to listen when I was your age. So that would be also my target.
Favorite quote?
Favorite quote would be, the best revenge would be my success.
That's amazing.
I love that.
Oh. So what is the history of where you're from?
Oh, I'm from Mexico City. I was born here in Mexico. I come from a family full of musicians, and I'm also doing Mexican music. So I owe a lot to my country.
That's amazing. Let me ask you this. I know this is about you right now, but I wanted to spread a little light on your family. Do they have any music out? Like anyone out there that can stream it?
Oh,
too?
yes. My father worked with famous Mexican artist who was called, because he passed away last year. A famous artist who was called Jose Jose. I don't know if you know him, but my father was his director the last years of his life. He was his teacher. He gave him singing lessons, and he worked with him like 5 years. Also, Carlos Cuevas. Carlos Cuevas is a Mexican singer of Mexican music. He's working with him. He's his pianist. He's with a project that's called Romance in Piano. You can look for it on YouTube. In Spanish, it is Romance en Piano. So look for it. It's a really, really good album, and the singer is really good. And my mother, she's a bass player. She's she won some contest of jazz music in 1981. And my grandfather is a famous drummer who's called Salvador Agüero. His nickname is Rabito. He played with Dave Brubeck. He played with Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra, and Tony Bennett. He's kind of like more famous. He's a legend. So a lot of jazz musicians from the United States know him because he became a famous drum player in the jazz world. And my sister, she's a singer and guitar player. She's about to do a project on Spotify, but she's beginning to do that. So that's my family.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
How old were you when you decided to do music?
5 years old. I wanted to be a pianist when I grew up and do classical music. I studied years classical music, but decided that jazz was my passion more than anything else. So it was 5 years. I became really curious about instruments, not only piano, but I started playing guitar and the trumpet and drums. My family gave me the piano lessons, and my father gave me the piano lessons. My grandfather gave me the drums lessons, and trumpet and guitar I did with my father ever since I was a little boy. So singing lessons, I became inclined to sing when I just changed voice. It was very funny because my voice was really, bad. I had a really bad voice. I didn't imagine I could sing. But 15 years old, it was amazing because my voice became very low, So one morning I woke up and it was unbelievable. My mother couldn't believe she was listening to a really low voice of mine. So I decided to sing. So 5 years old, I decided to dedicate to the instruments. And at 15 years old, I decided to dedicate to the singing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What are your music guilty pleasures?
Oh, I have a lot of them. I'm kind of embarrassed because I love some of the Mexican hits, like, for example, Mario Bautista. It's a really guilty pleasure of mine, because there are this genre that is really modern, which is reggaeton. Reggaeton, we call it in Mexico. It's like really Latin music. Nowadays they call it Latin music, but it's kind of like my guilty pleasure being at a party and dancing, with the girls, the kind of music that's playing today. And another guilty pleasure is Michael Bublé, but not the songs that he does like Frank Sinatra, but the old pops, like the 70s pop music, which is Me and Mrs. Jones. I love to listen to that. That's kind of like my guilty pleasure because it's really, I consider it to be really corny, but I guess I'm a corny person.
What do you do outside music?
Could you repeat the question, please?
What do you do outside of music? Like, if you weren't doing music, what would you be doing?
Oh yeah. I'm really fan of art in general. I like painting. I like drawing. I like writing. For example, I love poetry. I consider myself a really poetry fan because without poetry, I don't know what would happen to my life. I think writing is really essential to me. I like to write any kind of thing. For example, I like short stories. I like poetry. I like. I have the ambition to do one day to write a novel. So in painting, I love drawing. For example, drawing portraits. And also, I'm a lawyer. I studied law at law school in Mexico. I'm a lawyer, and it's kind of funny because music and laws and it appeared to not be like really similar, but I find similarities in there. So that's very funny. So I do laws, I do writing, I do drawing, and that's basically what I like to do. And also languages. Languages is one of my other passions. I love French. I love Latin. I want to study Portuguese. I think Portuguese is my favorite language. So that's what I do beside music.
That's amazing. What are your goals in the end of 2020 leading to 2021?
Oh, I have a project which is my goal, which is a new album. I will release it on Spotify, which is the Christmas carols. I'm spoiling a little bit, but doesn't matter because it's not too much. I think the album will be released on the end of December, when the holidays, so that you can listen to me on my Spotify with singing the Christmas classics. Like "I'll Be Home for Christmas" and "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." Well, that's my goal for 2020.
The best advice you've been given?
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful question because I remember my grandfather. He told me one day when I was like 15 years old, you will always do what you love to do. You can never escape it. You can never stop it. You will always do what you love to do. That was my best advice that my grandfather gave me when I was 15 years old.
That's amazing. What would you say to any upcoming band or artist in your local area, Mexico City?
Oh, I would say to them to to don't do the mistake that I did. Be on the internet, be on Spotify, be on Facebook, be on Instagram, because if you just if you just perform your music on live events, physical events, you won't be you just do events, just do bars, just do parties, gatherings, social gatherings. You won't be able to develop the music as well as if you go to the internet and show what you're doing. So be generous, share your music, don't be shy. I would say that.
That's dope advice, man. How is your music going to evolve from here?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
How is your music going to evolve from
how is
here?
it going to evolve? It's a difficult question because I will always be loyal to old-fashioned music. I will always be loyal to classic jazz and to old tunes. But I think I'm trying to get old tunes to modernity. So I think the evolution of my music will be like that, like going, a transition with old tunes to modernity, brought to modernity. So as a modern thing, I think that's an important thing as to speak about evolution. I think it will evolve as a modern tune, an old tune evolve as a modern tune by me. I think that's the important thing. So I don't know if I answered correctly your question.
Absolutely. That was a great answer. So do you got any special shout outs you want to give, and do you want to plug in all your social media outlets so everyone that listening to this podcast can go tune into you, stream your music, and be able to ask you where your latest events
Oh,
are?
yes, on Facebook. They can watch me at, it's Mark Van-Dell. Look for me, please, on Facebook, Mark Van-Dell. And on Spotify, I will be releasing new albums. If you can watch me, I have also the Instagram. Look for me. I'm Mark Van-Dell on Instagram. On YouTube, please. I will be releasing a new video, which is Come Fly With Me. On YouTube, look for me as Mark Van-Dell. The Lady is a Tramp. And on future events, on look for me on YouTube as Mark Van-Dell, Come Fly With Me.
Special shout outs.
Special what? I'm sorry.
Shout outs. Your shout outs you want to give to the people that support you.
F-Wolf, who is my partner, who has helped me in the videos that the video that I have done, and who has helped me on everything that has to do with internet. So he's F-Wolf. Look for him. He has he does music like the artist Lil Peep. He's a huge fan, and he does music like that. Look for him on YouTube. He's F-Wolf. Look for the song F This. Look also for the song. He's with he did a feature with an artist called Forte Realita. He's kind of like trap music, and he's an expert on that. He has a lot of videos. He has like 4 or 5 videos on YouTube. So F-Wolf, without space, F-Wolf. That would be it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you got it. Mark Van-Dell. This is Strictly for the Music